so welcome back to the Bedroom Show for episode 2. I have been working with an organization called Reef Relief, and they do a lot of conservation work and marine education in the Key West area. I saw this poster at the same coffee shop that I met these interns at, and it said Plastic Free Key West, so I was like, okay, boom, need to find them. Looked them up on the internet and found their address, biked over there. I mean, Key West, everything's like within 10 minutes. So ran over there, met one of the interns for Reef Relief, and told her my experience, what I had found at Sugarloaf Key and the trail. And she was like, you know what, we had a cleanup that was scheduled for that area, had to get canceled, postponed, whatever, and so we're going to reschedule it for December. And I was like, heck yeah. Apparently there was a lot of community interest in the area. A lot of people have communicated with Reef Relief and told them that, hey, there's a lot of trash here, we need to do something about it. Unfortunately, not much of the community showed up, so I think that is a gap that needs to be addressed. It is good that people are stepping up and saying something about where they're finding a problem. And hopefully, maybe they just couldn't make it on a Friday morning from 10 to 12. I understand, that's kind of work hours. But hopefully they're doing stuff on their own, but I think that is something that a gap we need to bridge, and understanding we can recognize a problem, but there's something that we need to do about it. So I love that Reef Relief is showing up. They heard the community and they said, you know what, it doesn't matter who shows up, we're going to show up. And so it was the Reef Relief team, myself, and then also 2 people from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. So it was really awesome. This is my second cleanup with Reef Relief, and the first one, we also worked with some government officials who are involved in a lot of the conservation efforts and marine preservation, working to understand the systems for the mangroves and the coral and all of the components of the ecosystems down in the Keys. So it's been really cool to see the government involvement with some of these organizations, because I feel like we hear a lot of things that separate the government from our problems. And I do believe that that exists, but it's also really cool to show up to these things and see how the government is becoming involved in trying to problem solve a lot of these issues. So definitely check that video out. Like I said, I'll link it down below or up here. Event number 2 that I attended was actually just this morning, the morning that I'm recording this, but not the morning that you will see this. It was the Key West. So it was a Key West Triathlon. It is a huge event. It's a destination event. People come from all over the country and probably, honestly, all over the world. I didn't get to talk to that many people, but I know Key West is a draw for people around the world. But they have 5 different events of all sorts, so you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. You can either run the Olympic triathlon, which is the top dog, and then there's sprints and halves and a couple of this and a couple of that you can do. So it really allows a lot of people to show up for this event and do something difficult for themselves in a beautiful, beautiful place around people who have the same passions and same energy and motivation to just be a healthier version of themselves and to do hard things. And like this morning when I showed up, that was the energy. People were like zoned in, but they were also just excited to be there, nervous because a lot of people that I met, it was their first time doing a triathlon. Mad respect to anybody who got out there, period, and did any of that. Any leg of that race, any of those races are difficult. If you have to get in the water and swim in the open ocean, respect. So that was really cool. In the video, definitely check it out. You get to meet Michael, who is the swim club pioneer that I've been swimming with. Not every day, he swims every day, him and Taz swim every day, I do not swim every day, but when I do swim, I go out there and swim with them. He raced today and got 2nd place in his age group, which is huge, and he had a 5K yesterday, so beast of a person. Definitely go meet him on the interview. And then also you get to meet my PT. He showed up and ran it too, and he said it was his first triathlon, so crazy people that exist here in Key West, and I love them all. You just like never know what you're going to learn from other people, so I love being able to interview people when I go out and do these different events. So check it out, learn about them. On to the next thing. So the meat and the potatoes of the episode. I am going to start focusing on basically what my training is. So I guess I really haven't talked about this, but I am by trade a strength and conditioning coach. So I have been an athlete my whole entire life. I went to college and I started studying psychology, and because of my interest in the human mind, and I always had a lot of performance anxiety, I had a really hard time showing up on game day and being able to perform. I had high standards for myself, and I just didn't understand what was wrong with me. And so I was like, I'm going into psychology to figure this out. I got into psychology, didn't want to take a language, so then I was an athlete in college, so I found peace in the weight room. I loved the weight room because I felt like it was a place that I could fail and it wouldn't affect me on the track. And so I shifted into this sports psychology phase because I still really struggled with a lot of performance anxiety as a track athlete. And then I decided to, when I realized that you could be a strength and conditioning coach and coach in the weight room, I was like, that's what I want to do. And so that's what I pursued after I graduated college. I did that for 6 years, I believe. So I did a little bit of coaching in college, and then 6 years after that, I got my master's from Mississippi State, where I was a GA and worked in, what is it called? Oh, I can never think of what it's called, but it's basically public health. So helping, working on behavior change theories with human beings and also with the system. So working with communities, working with policy, and trying to create an environment that promotes health. Health promotion, that's what it was, literally. Okay, so that's what I studied in grad school, and then I went on to coach for a couple more years after that, got burnt out, shifted, completely turned around, started working on boats, fishing, and then started my YouTube because I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm not going back to coaching. I'm so burnt out. And what do I want to do? I don't know. So I'm going to interview people until I figure it out and put it on the internet, because I know there's so many people out there who are like me, who are not content with what they're doing with their lives at the moment, and they want to figure out what's next and get curious about what's out there for them to pursue, whether it's a hobby that adds sparkle into their life of a 9 to 5, or if they just want to change completely, whatever it may be. I wanted to put it out there so that people could learn. And so, where was I going with that? What I want to start, so as a coach, like I said, I had this psychology background and this psychology curiosity with the physical component of coaching and strength and conditioning and developing the physical components of athleticism. But when you are on a team, when you are an athlete, you have so many mental things as well as emotional and spiritual aspects of, it just fell from the ceiling. So many aspects that go into performing at your highest capacity. And so for me, I wanted to coach my athletes in a way that brought about this like holistic wellness and holistic power for my athletes to be able to show up every day in their life, no matter whether it was school, relationships, or their sport, to be able to show up fully themselves and with all the skills that they could bring to the table. So that's what I want to bring to you guys, is this section in the middle. So we'll do a little warm up. I want to highlight all the cool things that I'm doing in Key West and all the cool people I'm meeting, and then hype up the videos that I'm making, because I think it's so sick to be able to interact with these people, but also bring my expertise to the table and address mind, body, and spirit aspects and bring these different skills so that you can work to apply them in the next week until the next week's episode, and then kind of go into maybe what I'm looking forward to this week. So today I wanted to start with, I don't have my whiteboard today, and that was one thing that I always brought to the weight room. They knew that they were about to receive a drop of knowledge when I brought out the whiteboard. So I don't have it today, but I did last episode, so check that one out. But first I want to address the body. I have been working through an ACL recovery. I just got clearance to start doing a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of plyometrics, so more just like starting to get the reaction in my body. So it has me thinking a lot about what does plyometrics bring to the table for your physical body, and what does it look like for people to incorporate that who aren't athletes? Because plyometrics are literally just like bouncing and rebounding. So when you jump rope, when you bounce around, when you skip, when you run, those are all plyometrics. And it leads to healthy tendons, elasticity, a lot of health in your tendons, so it keeps them active, and you're less likely to get injured when your tendons are reactive. So training them to be awake, to be aware, so when you like step off a curb wrong and you maybe roll your ankle, it's not going to be as serious as if you didn't do any of this work with plyometrics. So that's just an example, but they also, when you do plyometrics, it triggers your bones to start to grow more dense. So when you hit the ground, you are receiving impact from the ground into your bones, into your muscles, into your joints, and it resonates through your body, sends vibrations through your body, and tells your body to get stronger, to get more dense, to add elastic elements to be able to withstand those forces. So it's really important to incorporate plyometrics in your day-to-day. And the third reason that it's important to incorporate plyometrics is it shakes out all the fluids. So you have a lot of fluids in your body, whether it be blood, lymph, synovial fluid. I mean, there's all kinds of fluids that keep your body moving and loose and fluid. And think about it like any body of water. If your fluids sit in your body, because we have a lot of sedentary behaviors, you may sit at a desk all day, whether you're in school or at work, or you just may sit around when you get home and you plop on the couch and you don't move for a couple hours. That sedentary fluids is like having a sedentary puddle. So things begin to be able to grow and manifest in that fluid. Movement helps filter all of that out, so it moves it through your system, and you have built-in filters in your system in order to prevent all of that bacterial growth or like malicious cells to start to produce. So your body, when you move, starts to filter those things out and attack the things that shouldn't be there. But when you sit, it allows them to grow and fosters a system where they can proliferate? I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but you get the point. So plyometrics are obviously really, really important for all those reasons. But I feel like a lot of people get intimidated by plyometrics, by jumping. They don't want to have to do box jumps because they don't want to tear up their shins. Understood. Been there, done that. Yikes. They don't want to go for a run. Totally get that too. After track was done, I was like, probably never going to run again, except for this triathlon that I'm about to do. But one thing that I wanted to bring to the table is that there are so many ways to accomplish building characteristics of your physical abilities. So I realized this, and this came to me when I was at a punk show. So I was listening to the Dirt Dags at Dirty Harry's, and they're an awesome rock punk cover band, but they have some original music, so definitely check them out. They're so lit. I've seen them twice now, and I was just like jumping around and like headbanging and like just getting hype, and I was like, holy shit, dadgum. I was like, okay, this is like an alternative plyometric. Like, I'm getting my plyometric exercises, my plyometric touches, at a punk show. Okay, so go to your local music and go jump around and throw your fists and legs around and shake things out and jump around and get everything moving and get some of those plyometric touches, and go have fun. One thing that I wanted to specify is there is also like a method of 3D. So you want to be a 3D human. And I think that's kind of like the emphasis of what I want to do, and like getting like specific, getting niche, building a 3D human. So we are meant to twist, turn, reach, go sideways, go front to back. We are meant to go in all these directions. So make sure that your plyometrics are 3D. So jumping forward, side, diagonal, back to back, all over the place, it's good for you. And it's going to help you build a more well-rounded physical ability. So, for example, I put one-dimensional is going for a run. One-dimensional plyometrics, going for a run. So you're running in a straight line. You're not going backwards. You're not going side to side. You're going in a straight line. You're still getting your plyometrics, but it's very repetitive. So you're going in a straight line. You may have a little bit of tilt here because depending on how your foot hits the ground, it may change that dimension, but it's going to be a one-dimensional, it's in a straight line. For instance, maybe trail running or terrain running. So you go run a mountain and you're kind of running side to side, maybe bouncing back and forth along the trail. That could be an example of two-dimensional running. So it's still pretty much in one direction, but you're uneven path. You might go a little bit of side to side, but for the most part, it's still pretty one-dimensional. But then 3D is like going out and playing tag or running around and doing agility work, basically. So going to play in a sport, going to play basketball, you're backpedaling, you're shuffling side to side, and you're playing defense, and then you're running down the court, and then you're cutting, and you're driving, or whatever it is. And there's so many aspects to different sports that allow you to accomplish the 3D. You also don't have to do any of that. You can literally just bounce around and like bounce to the left, and bounce to the right, and bounce forward, and back to the left, and back to the right. Or just do the Cupid shuffle. But yeah, so there's so many ways to get your plyometrics in. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. I think this is something that a lot of people miss with their physical activity, is that they think it has to be super regimented and super strict, and it has to be very weightlifting, and it has to be running, and it can be whatever you want it to be as long as you're outside moving. Go for a skate if you like to skate. Go climb around on the playground. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 52, it doesn't matter. Go play on the playground. And so that's all I wanted to say. That wraps it up. But get your plyometrics in. They're so good for you. There's so many benefits for your body. It will make you feel so much better to just jump around. And literally, if that's one of the first things you do in the morning, you kind of do a little bit of stretching, you feel good, and then you bounce around, boom, you'll feel like tons better. I promise. Okay? The next thing that I want to go into is for the spirit. This one occurred to me recently because I have started to, obviously I moved to a new place. I moved to Key West about 5 or 6 weeks ago at this point. I've been making a lot of new friends, and I'm trying to figure out what that looks like to like make a true friend. What does a true friend look like? And it's been really beautiful because I feel like people here are very accepting, they're very loving, which is a blessing to be able to be here around people like that. But it's allowed me to see what a true friend is, and obviously like I've had so many true friends along my life. Everywhere I've gone, I've moved around so many different times, and I believe each place that I've lived, I've been able to find really awesome friends, and so I've been reflecting on that and what that looks like. And one thing that came to me this week was true friends will make you feel bigger, more expanded, elevated, easier, and lighter when you see them and after you leave them. So I think what I mean by that is just like you feel like you're able to conquer the world after you're with them. You don't feel like you walk away and you're smaller. Because I feel like a lot of people that you interact with can be very diminishing to your spirit, whether you wanted to share some piece of good news and they didn't react how you want them to, or you share a success or a win and they're kind of like maybe jealous, or they just kind of belittle it or don't give it the energy you want. And I feel like that is a sign of somebody who just doesn't really care and doesn't really know you. And so I guess it doesn't really have to be someone who doesn't care, but someone who doesn't really know you. And there's a space where you can meet kind people and they may not react kind of how you want because they don't know you yet. But I feel like true friends and real people will always celebrate with you when you have a success. They will always make you feel better when you leave your interaction with them. So no matter how it goes, whether you bring up a success or whether you bring up something that you're struggling with or a fear. So I think one example of this would be with Michael and Taz, who I swim with. Never have they ever made me feel like a bad swimmer. I'm a bad swimmer, guys. I'm a bad swimmer. I swim with my head up out of the water like this. Okay? I don't know how to swim. I'm learning. I'm showing up every day, and they are proud of me for showing up every day. They tell me every time I step in the water that you are awesome for doing this. And they try to help me, and they encourage me to show up again and again and again. And those are real people that they don't care how ugly it looks when they have to swim with me. I mean, they don't swim with me because they are too fast for me, but they show up with me and they don't care how ugly it is. They want to teach me and they want to help me become better. And they are psyched when I swim half a pole further, like 25 yards further, 50 yards further. They're stoked for it. When I have switched to breathing every other breath underwater, they're psyched for me. Maybe I didn't swim as far, but at least I did something better. And they're psyched for it. And they try to help me find little ways to get better every day. And those are true friends and real people. And it doesn't matter that they're like 20, 30 years older than me. Probably not 30. How old am I? Yeah, 20, 30 years older than me. It doesn't matter. They're there for me, and I'm psyched for them. Like today, I got to watch Michael run his triathlon, and it was super awesome to be able to cheer him on and talk to him before and after the race and see how he felt and like see him do his thing. Because like I've been training with him a little bit, but like he actually went and did his thing, and I got to see that and be a part of it. And so it's like this cool relationship of just like mutual encouragement and badassery. There is one aspect of this I feel like gets left out of a lot of people. I mean, I scroll Instagram from time to time. I see all these people talking about in order to become your best self, you have to ditch the people that don't support you. Yes, but also you have to become the person you want to attract. So if you are also somebody who is negative to people that bring them things, whether it's a positive thing and you belittle it or you act like it's not a big deal, or you make a situation worse, they bring you something, a hardship, and they don't walk away feeling better. It happens. It happens to me, it happens to everybody. We are human, and we are going to have interactions that we don't leave feeling positive, and that's okay. But in order to attract these people that are encouraging, you have to become somebody who is encouraging. You have to become somebody who's supportive. You have to become somebody who wants to be there for people. So I wrote 3 different points of the aspect of becoming the person that you want to attract. And the first one is encourage. So I've been hammering this one, so I feel like you guys understand it, but for clarity, cheer them on, celebrate wins, and find a silver lining when they fail. So if they bring something to you, help them see the lesson. If it was a failure, if it was something bad that happened or a hardship that they're going through, help them find the silver lining, help them find hope, help them find a lesson, something that they can apply and take action to move forward. Because that's really what this life is about, is to go through these obstacles, highs and lows, and to keep moving forward and to keep breathing and to keep becoming who we are and who we're supposed to be. And so I think true friends and real people are people who walk with you through those. When you can't take a step, they help you take that next step, and or get up off the ground, or keep moving forward, to put on blinders to be able to focus on where you're going. Number 2, and this is more to help you engage with people. So it's engage. So how do you engage with people? Are you interested in their lives, their interests, their curiosities? What are they experts in? So can you learn something from them? Can you, maybe you don't know a lot about what they do, and so ask them, learn from them, because there are so many skills that are so translatable to all these different aspects of life. Like, I can't tell you how much of strength and conditioning overlapped with fishing. I know it sounds crazy, but the team aspect of strength and conditioning and the team aspect of fishing, identical. You have to be able to trust the other person is going to do their job. You have to be confident in yourself to do your job, no matter what situation arises. It is chaos. When a fish hits the line, like, you don't know what line they're coming up to. Sometimes you see the fish, but like, you don't know what they're gonna eat. And then all of a sudden, boom, the rod goes off. You have to act, you have to know who's on that rod, and then you have to know what the roles of everybody else in the cockpit is, and then you have to go. And that's like the same thing even for music and bands. They have to do the same exact thing. They practice and they practice, and they have to trust that their bandmates have done the work and that will show up and continue to do the work and continue to show up better and better every day, that I can focus on my instrument, they'll focus on their instruments, and then we're gonna play a banging show. So you just never know what kind of information that is going to be pulled from somebody else into your life that could change your perspective on something else. So get curious about what other people do. Engage with somebody. And it can be the person you're sitting next to in the doctor's office. It can be a person you're waiting in line with for coffee. It can be somebody you pass on the street. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a friend. But also use this for your friends. Use this for people that you want to get to know better. Because that's how you find real friends, is you engage with them. You talk about maybe similar interests. You find something that you have in common. But sometimes that takes a little work. Sometimes you have to ask multiple questions to get to your common interests, and that's okay. Sometimes you may go through a little bit of an awkward silence of like, okay, well, we've tried 3 different topics and we don't really know where to go from here. Try another one. So, it's you will find something in common. I promise. There's probably 0 people in this world that can't find something in common. That's not a real statistic, so don't quote me on that. Yeah, engage with the people around you. Engage with the people around you. Figure out what their curiosities are. Learn something from them, because you never know what opportunity might open because of that. A perspective change, a career opportunity, a friendship opportunity. You never know. So I'll stop throwing my mic around. Like I said, it's not real, but it will be soon. And the third point, don't be afraid to follow up. Be the brave one. Be the brave one. I know it sucks to have to be the first one to text somebody after you've just met them, or maybe you've seen them a couple times and you finally make the connection. It may be a little bit awkward, it may be a little bit nerve-wracking, but be the brave one. All it takes is sending a text. You can do that. I promise you can do that. Just type it up. Ask ChatGPT. There's sometimes I ask ChatGPT, I give them the situation, and I'm like, yo, what do I say? And I just pick something that sounds good, maybe adjust it for what I want to say, and then I give it to that person, and there's 2 things that can happen. 2 things that can happen. 1, they don't respond. 2, they respond and you connect. And if the first one happens, just be thankful that you had the first interaction in the first place. That it was a powerful enough interaction that you wanted to change your behavior. You wanted to get outside of yourself and your normal patterns to connect with another person. That's awesome. That's inspirational, because it inspired you to take action to pursue a relationship, and that's awesome. That's different. That's change. That changes you in your heart, in your soul. So, be grateful that you had an interaction that inspired you enough to do something different, and take a lesson from that. Okay, so what inspired you about that person to change, to do something? Was it something that they were curious about that you actually started to get a curiosity about? Okay, maybe start to do some research. Who else in your life or in your circles or in your community might be interested in that you can connect with, and start to take that a step further. So maybe it wasn't the person that was supposed to take you there, but they planted a seed that takes you there. And then on the other side, it's you could foster a relationship, and they could be the person that takes you there, wherever there may be. Whether it's to have a companion, to have somebody who teaches you something, or connects you to something else. Always be brave enough to text, to reach out, because again, you never know what doors that is going to open. So encourage. Be the encourager. Be an encourager. Always find something positive to leave the person with. 2, engage. Ask questions. Be curious. And then 3, don't be afraid to follow up. So send the text. You got this. And then lastly, the mind. Okay, this is a fun one. Being able to sharpen our mental skills is huge for living a solid life, and it's almost the connector between the spirit and the body. Because I think we have thoughts that come from the spirit, I guess the unconscious and subconscious, and then we have the body. It controls the body. Our nervous system controls the body. So it's this connector between those 2 aspects. So it's really important that we know how to manage it, and we know how to train it and give it skills in order to do the job better. So today I want to talk about, with it being the end of the year, and I talked last episode about how, what did I talk about? What you should do to wind down the year. Start to reflect on all the things you've done, good, bad, ugly. Figure out what you want to take into the next year, habits, skills, information, and then what you want to leave in 2025. So Hopefully you've done a little bit of reflecting. If not, I suggest you do that. And then make a list of everything you want to do next year. So this is more activities based. Next week I want to talk about setting personal goals and career goals, more specifically to, I guess, the mind, body, spirit. But this one is more about planning activities for the year ahead. Write a list of everything you want to do. Okay, I already did this. I'm excited for all the activities that I want to do next year, some of the things. I need to put the triathlon on my list, so things like that. Trips I want to take, episodes I want to film, collaborations I want to do, places I want to go, people I need to see. My festival is on there, so next year, October, whatever Friday is, like the 16th, I think, somewhere around there, whatever Friday that is, St. Augustine, I'm throwing another festival, year 2 of the Boulevard Block Party. Put it on your calendars now. But I'll be talking about it more in like June and July because I did this. Okay, then, so after you've made the list, maybe write some dates out of like, if there's specific activities like the triathlon, I'm going to want to put the dates of the triathlon. What else do I want to do next year? I don't remember. Whatever it is, put all the dates and then make a calendar. So put it all, plug and play, and then if you don't have dates for certain trips that you want to do, find good spaces for that, okay? So if you know you have a big, heavy work season in the spring, then maybe block that out for strictly work and plan a vacation after that, okay? So it's good to like get away from work, especially if you're heavy, and then you want to take a break and pull away and allow your brain to kind of just like process all of that. So that when you come back, you're in a much better place and you're ready to attack the planning that has to go in before the next busy season. So, put it on I put it on a $1.25 tree calendar or a poster. I got like this big roll of like brown paper from the $1.50 tree or whatever it is now. And that's what I'm writing my stuff on. So making this a year-long calendar of what I want to do, activities that I want to do for 2026. Then start to look at what overlaps and what goes together. So let's see, I'm trying to think of an example for myself. I don't know. For example, if there's a festival that you want to go to and a relative that you need to see and they're in the same place, could you set up a day before or a day after to go to the festival and then maybe rest and relax with your relative? So a lot of times I would do this with my grandparents, or I do this with my family or some of my friends when I drive up the coast. I try to stop for a day and see whoever. So when I would go down and hang out or work in Fort Lauderdale, my parents are midway between that there and St. Augustine, so I would stay a night with my parents and then go back up to home. And that allowed me to see my parents in transition between work trips or whatever it may be. That got me connected with my parents, allowed me to see them without having to make a specific trip. So just things like that. Look for overlap. Look at other things at that time, maybe if you want to make a trip out of it. Or another thing that I wanted to throw in there, and kind of I think it was later on in the list, but like, are there business opportunities there? So for example, for me, with my YouTube, I can go and collaborate with different people if I go on a trip somewhere. If I have to go for business, I can take my camera with me and maybe hook up with a couple different artists or musicians or business owners, people with a curiosity that I want to figure out, you know, and look people up there and hopefully run into some people as I wander around and make it a work opportunity. So think about that aspect too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a completely leaving work behind. A lot of times I feel like that's why it's hard for people to take a lot of vacations, but can you turn it into a money-making opportunity? Just get curious about it. Maybe Google how you could do it, whatever. I hit this. Pardon. And then filter. What do you actually want to do? So once you have this big old list of cloud aspects that you want to put in your future, you may have some things that it's like, yeah, I would do that if it works out. Like if I can lump it into one trip, yeah, I want to do it. But if I can't lump it into one trip, I'm not making a whole trip out of it. Cross it off your list. What would benefit me to do? Are there certain things, like I said, business opportunities, places like I want to go to New Orleans and hang out with my friends. That's a huge opportunity for me there to work with a lot of musicians, to work with artists. So maybe that's a priority to me for next year. Okay? And then what costs the least? So maybe you have to prioritize by budget as well. So are there road trips you can take that are cheaper than airfare? Are there places where you can go visit friends and stay with them and maybe drive somewhere and come back for a day? Look at options that allow you to save money while also traveling. Can you stay with friends? Can you do business while you're there? And then the next step is to plan the trips generally. So kind of look at airfare, look at places to stay, see how much it might cost, do a little bit of the math, do a little bit of the planning. You don't have to do it all, you don't have to nail down all the details, but kind of get an idea of what it's going to require out of you to get there and then come back, and make sure there's space in your schedule for that. So if you're constantly traveling, you're going to be exhausted. If you don't leave a day in between your arrival back home and your work the next day, you're going to be exhausted. So how do you create space in those areas to allow you to be rested and come back and do really well in your life so that it doesn't cost you to go on trips? And I was going to say some stuff about my childhood because I feel like a lot of times my parents would be really, really stressed. And God bless them for trying to get 3 children anywhere, okay? Especially the 3 children that they had. But I feel like it was always very stressful, and it was never super enjoyable to go on vacation because like there's so much stress around it. And again, understandable, 3 kids trying to get anything done, beyond me. And obviously like just all the requirements of being an adult along with that. But I think in my adulthood, and obviously like I'm single, I have no kids, it is a beautiful thing to have just myself to take care of, but I can I've learned to allow myself space in between transition, traveling, and then coming back and getting back to work, or setting myself up before I leave to be able to come back and just naturally land in my, think about it like an airplane. You gotta take off and you gotta land. You can't just crash land. That's dangerous, right? So think about it like that. And then plan the trips generally, like I said, maybe plan some activities. So if there's one thing you really want to plan a trip around, start to kind of look at what else there is around there. Maybe you can make it a little bit bigger. And then company. Do you want company? Do you want it to be just yourself? Do you want to see people while you're there? Whatever. And then be realistic. So once all this is kind of laid out, be realistic. What is realistic for me to accomplish? So when I first started this list, and it's probably taken me a couple weeks to really like process a lot of it, so give yourself time, give yourself space to kind of think about what you really want to do. And then, is it realistic? Is it realistic? Can I travel to 10 different places next year? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. But it depends on how much time I'm willing to spend there, how much energy I want to put into traveling. Is it realistic? Okay, maybe I can work it out that 10 trips is realistic. Cool. If I can't, also, I just need to understand to make the most of the things that I want to do. So don't spread yourself too thin. Then you won't enjoy any of it. Make sure that what you're doing is realistic and possible for yourself. So, like I said, next week we're going to talk about personal and life career goals and setting those for yourself. And then I want to talk about how that impacted my year this year, because I did do some of that, not as intentionally probably as this year, which is why I'm really excited for next year. I've been a lot more intentional in planning my next year, which I think based on this year and what I've been able to accomplish and all the things that I got to do, I believe that there is an importance in intentionally planning your year. So that's what I want to talk about next year or next week. But yeah, that's mind, body, spirit. I hope you have something to take away. Go jump, go make friends, and plan your year. Enjoy. Plan something fun for yourself. Golly, we live in a society that makes it tough to have fun. Go do something fun. Go do something fun for yourself. Okay? That's coming with so much love. Okay? Final words. Do the things, apply. Learn things. Whatever you learn, you need to apply. So I'm gonna keep this brief, but I feel like when I was really into scrolling right now, I'm like kind of on a break. I'm not really interested in social media. Sometimes I look at a couple posts, but most of the time I'm like, I'm done. But when I was, it's like a dopamine. I think I'm learning something from everything somebody's posting. And there's a million, I'm looking through hundreds of videos. How am I going to apply hundreds of things? And then there becomes this like cognitive dissonance. My knowledge and my actions can't keep up. My actions can't keep up with all the knowledge that I'm like, oh, I need to change all these behaviors. So, I don't know where I was going. Where did I start with that? Oh, make sure you apply what you learn. So maybe slow down the scrolling, slow down the YouTube dive, watch my videos, but slow down the YouTube dive and sit and, okay, what did I learn from the bedroom show today? Okay, I really enjoyed the plyometric lesson, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to jump around for 5 minutes every day this week and see how I feel. Do that. And then maybe come back and watch something else and say, okay, what can I apply there? Oh, I want to do that list of like bucket list items for next year, and write that down. Just make sure that you're taking action on the things that you're learning, because that's the only way you're going to change your life. Things I'm looking forward to this week, and that you have to look forward to maybe in my videos. My mom's birthday. That's not going to be a video, but wish my mom happy birthday. Her birthday is on Friday the 19th, so I think she's going to be 55, which is exciting. That's awesome. Long live mother. And okay, I'm also going to St. Augustine for a couple days before Christmas. So driving up the coast, gonna go straight to St. Augustine, stay there for a couple days, hang out with the homies, get to see everybody. It's gonna be really good to reconnect with everybody, and just kind of like check in and see what's up. I miss so many of my friends there, and just so many places. So it's gonna be good to be able to go back. Then I'm going for a couple days with my family for Christmas, and we're having, okay, exciting news. This is all exciting news to me, at least. Thanks for listening. But my dad just released a book. It got published and printed, and I guess he just got them today. He sent a picture in the group message. It is Leadership and Rhetoric. So I'll drop the link to the Amazon so you can purchase it if you're interested in leadership and rhetoric. He's pretty heady. He's a philosopher. He's a theologian. He is the reason I am the way that I am. And so if you're interested in leadership and rhetoric, how to talk about leadership and how to really have a voice, I think really is all it's about. I haven't read it. I'm excited to read it. But it's how to have a voice and how to become a leader and how to speak up for the things you believe in, and to lead a community of people or a group of people or your friends or whatever it may be, your family, to be able to vocalize the values that you think are important, the skills that you think are important to take away. So super excited for that. And then Saturday, my brother is having a baby. So, well, his wife. So we're throwing a shower for them. And so I'm pretty excited to be able to celebrate and see her pregnant. Oh my God, it's the first baby in our family. So it's going to be super, super cool to be able to celebrate the coming of the first child. And just super stoked to have another little bates in the world. And then lastly, I want to have one of my family members on the podcast. I'm shooting for my dad. We'll see. I haven't brought up the idea to him, but I would love to start introducing you guys to my family. I think they're awesome, and they have so many cool things to talk about for the world. So I want to bring them on and share them with you and share their knowledge, because they're the reason I am the way I am. Like I said earlier, my dad's a philosopher, my mom's a professional organizer. And so there's like so much of those two aspects that have made me who I am. My brothers are awesome, their wives are awesome. So being able to bring their knowledge and their skills and their personalities to you guys would be just such a blessing. So I'm trying to pull them on. We'll see how they feel. My brother has actually been on. He was the first family member I had on when I tore my ACL. He's had ACL surgery twice. So if you've ever had ACL surgery or you're interested in that, or you're going to have ACL surgery and you just came upon this video, I will also link that in the description so you can check that out. It was really cool to be able to talk to him about the differences between his two surgeries, and he really put my mind at ease to go into the surgery and be able to come out on the other side and manage it. And so yeah, it's just really cool to be able to have my family in front of the camera. So yeah, that's the goal, but we'll see how it goes. If not, I will see you guys next week. Yeah, I think I keep forgetting that I want to say, buy me a coffee. Coffee is what fuels all of this brainstorming. It is what fuels my editing. It is what fuels all kinds of things that make this possible. So I'm going to put my Venmo and my Cash App in the description if you guys want to buy me a coffee and support me. I'm still small and working to become a bigger presence in the internet, and if you think that is awesome, if you think I have good things to say, that is a great way to be able to support me. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I pray blessings over your entire week, that you will go and be able to apply some of these lessons and feel better, whether it's your mind, your body, or your spirit. I pray that you feel blessed because of these skills that you are going to practice. So I love you guys. Peace.